He's an offensive tackle from Kutztown University, NFL prospect. Man, just got through playing in the Senior Bowl. Getting ready to do some big things coming up here in the NFL Combine and Draft. Y'all give it up one time for Jordan Morgan. What's going on, homie?
Not much, man. How you doing?
Man, I can't complain, not one bit. Probably not as good as you, but, you know, I'm hanging in here. How'd you spend your Valentine's Day, my man? You a Valentine's guy?
I got a lady in my life. Fortunately, she wasn't with me the other day because I had training, but made sure to send her a little something.
That's what's up. Built-in excuse, too. Like, I was training so I can, you know, do all the rigmarole, my man. But, you know, she gonna probably hit you up. Like, after, when's the draft this year? April what?
I want to say the 28th.
April 28th. So by April 29th, she gonna get it back. She gonna get it back with interest. Please believe. I was reading your story, man. Give us the story. How'd you get to Kutztown? Because I've never until today, or not today, till the other day when I requested to talk to you, I've never heard of Kutztown, and I probably should have because, of course, the great Andre Reed went to Kutztown. But how'd you get to Kutztown?
I got there just from them coming to the high school. I was at recruiting other players. I had a coach who was just hard selling me to the recruiters who had came, just trying to get me a shot, basically. And it was just something I was tenacious with it, and they gave me a shot, and I just stuck with it, and it ended up working out for me.
You played half a season? Like, how did that work? You played half a season, like total in high school?
Yeah, I wasn't really a football player. Like, I didn't come out for the team until my senior year, and right before the season had started, I had been pretty banged up from the camp, so I ended up missing half the season. So I'd only played the second half.
Then turned that into a possible NFL career. Look at that. He's NFL hopeful out of Kutztown University, home of the great Andre Reed, as I just mentioned. He's also the Gene Upshaw Award winner for the best lineman in Division II football. If you guys don't know who Gene Upshaw is, first of all, shame on you. Second of all, he is NFL great with the Raiders. Also he was the old DeMaurice Smith, the head of the NFL Players Association. So you show up at campus at 235 pounds. How much do you weigh now, my man?
Right now I'm about 310.
How? That's the question. How? 235 to 310. How?
Just doing the basic stuff, just making sure I was eating right and doing the right type of training and making sure I'm just putting the right stuff in my body so that over the years I could grow. The hardest part was definitely eating to gain the size, because there would be days where, like, you're full, you don't want to eat anymore, but if you want to gain that weight, you kind of just got to keep forcing that shit back. And yeah, that's pretty much what got me there.
Yeah, to have those problems. Yeah, I can't eat enough. Yeah, most of us, dude, I'll be 40 years old next week. I stepped on the scale today. I was like, man, I'm eating too much, like, ridiculous stuff too. You feel me?
Yeah. So
you grew up in Philly. How was that? How was your life growing up in Philly before Kutztown?
It was a pretty decent life. I mean, my family never had like too much when I was growing up, but I feel as though they raised like me, my brother, my sister well. So we always were able to stay out of trouble and get relatively good grades in school. So it was just before the whole football thing kicked off. It was a pretty basic life, I'd say.
You're a pretty young cat. You know about Marvin Harrison?
I don't know about who?
Marvin Harrison. You know who that is?
I do not.
You from Philly. You don't know who Marvin Harrison, the great Colts wide receiver, Peyton Manning's favorite target.
Okay.
Yeah, the story is that I've heard from people older than you. So, well, not that I've heard from people. There's also this thing about him being still a man of a person of interest in a murder, but we'll digress from that. Tell me about a memorable experience at Kutztown. You've been there for 4 or 5 years, right? Because you redshirted. So you've been there for a while. Yeah. It probably, from what I read, it's a different experience from where you grew up. But give me probably your most memorable experience from being at Kutztown.
Are you on football or just baseball?
Anything, but whatever comes to mind. Whatever comes to mind first.
Gotcha. I would say my most memorable experience was probably my past year where we won the PSAC East. So it's like the eastern part of the conference we play in. And it was just crazy because that was the first year we were undefeated in it and actually won it. And that was the first time we were ever undefeated in it. And that was the second time in school history, I think, that we had ever won it just as a program. So when I first came there, it was pretty much a rebuilding year because so many players and coaches had left. And then I went through a series of different coaches when I first got there. And it was just a program that was constantly like turning into something and being broken down and rebuilding. So just that game that won us that, just to see it all kind of come together was a crazy experience.
Absolutely. The other voice that you're hearing is NFL hopeful from Kutztown University. He's the Gene Upshaw Award winner, the best offensive lineman in D2 football. His name is Jordan Morgan. Jordan, do you have social media? I couldn't find any social media on you. What's your social media situation so the people know where to find you at?
I got you. I can give you my Twitter right now.
Let's run it.
That's Jordan's 3. That's Jordan's 3.
Jordan 3?
Yep, all one word.
Did I say that right? Like Jordan's plural, then Jordan singular, then 3?
Oh, no, plural again. It's 2 plurals.
2 plural. Jordans. Oh, you a Jordan guy. You rock the J's?
I used to when I was younger, but the name just stuck with me from the media, so.
My man. Let's move on to the Senior Bowl. I watched some of the Senior Bowl practices. Of course, that's where I got your name from. And I watched some of the practices. Didn't really watch a lot of the game, but as I tend to now see the day after reading about you, I saw the plays that you played in the game. But give me your assessment of yourself and your performance in your Senior Bowl, seeing as though you're going from playing at Kutztown, a Division II school, to now playing against guys who, 2 in particular, that played in the damn national championship game in the D1. So how did you assess your own performance?
I think in the game I played well. Just that whole week was just a bit of a progression for me, just coming from the D2 school to playing like the best players in the country, and then on top of that, playing a new position. So I felt like my first few days were a bit of a learning phase for me, but I think once I got acclimated, I started to perform a lot better and play a lot more comfortably. And I think I did myself a favor down there.
Word. Good stuff. Now you talk about that position change. You're moving from tackle, from the left tackle, right?
Yeah. Tackle
to guard. What do you find after that week? What are you finding is going to be the biggest adjustment for you moving from being out on the edge to be in a more confined space where you kind of probably go from kick sliding more to more of a bounce in your pass setting, and the quarters are a little bit closer with your run blocking. What do you see as the biggest adjustments that you're going to have to make in your game?
I would say just getting used to doing it, honestly. I mean, I know some guys at this point have been playing ball for 10, 15 years, as opposed to me, who this would have been my 5th year now.
Wow.
So just me playing the position more, getting more reps at it, getting more looks. Like, I think I adjusted relatively quick down there and started to perform well, like I said. So it's just a matter of continuing to do just that. I feel as though the more immersed I get in it, the more chances I get at it, the better off I'll be.
Now, you were playing under that John Fox staff, that Chicago Bears staff. What did you think of the coaching staff?
Oh, I liked them a lot. As I understand it, the offensive line coach, Coach Wash, is relatively new to that program, but I liked everything they had to say. They were really insightful. They were really easy guys to get along with, and they taught us a lot in a little bit of time, so it's always pretty useful.
What was the most important thing you think they taught you as far as your new technique is concerned?
I would say just playing fast. Like, I know when I first got down there would be times where I wasn't playing fast because I was focused on different things, whether it be assignments or like different techniques. But overall, they were saying it's just like that week was just an evaluation of where you are as a player now. Like, it's not too much you can learn in that week that'll just make you a completely different player. It's really just about showing them what you have the ability to do currently.
Let's talk about outside of football. What do you do when you're not training, or when you're not playing, or when you're not focusing on the game? What are some of Jordan's outside interests?
Outside of football, I like to think I'm a pretty basic person. I like to go out with like my friends or my girlfriend whenever it's like I have a day off of training. Maybe like go out to eat or go see a movie or something, or like play video games. I'm so gung ho about the whole football thing that I just try to keep it like that. I mean, I figure that's real basic, and at the same time, it kind of helps you unwind from everything else that's going on before you get right back into it.
Are you training up there in Philly? You still up there training, or you somewhere else training?
I'm training in New Jersey.
Word. Okay. He's Jordan Morgan, everybody. Got a couple minutes left here with him from Kutztown University, the Gene Upshaw Award winner for the best offensive lineman out of D2. Make sure you follow him at Jordans 3 on Twitter. For some reason, I couldn't find that. You're a Philly guy, so you pay attention to the Sixers and to the Eagles. Are those your squads?
I wouldn't really call myself a diehard Philly fan. I've always been the type of person who I have favorite players for teams more so than just a straight favorite team.
My man. That's a smart way to be. Like I get on my show probably every day and reel on cats about that whole crew love situation. These dudes that are die hard and all, like, why we gotta die, cuz, to cheer for a team? Like, why I gotta be that serious? Feel me? Yeah, my man. I appreciate that about you. So I guess that would mean that because of that fact, like, you don't really have a preference. I know some guys, like your man, what's my man's name from Texas A&M? Somebody got him on tape the other day talking about, please draft me, Jerry Jones. And they made a big deal out of that. But I guess you don't really have a preference, do you? Or do you have a preference in style of play that you would like that you can better see yourself fitting into?
Honestly, for me, like, I don't really have a preference of where I go. I just have a passion for the game. I don't care where I'm at or what position they want me to play, as long as they tell me I get a shot to play against like the best players in the world. That's good enough for me.
My man, is there a player in the league that you kind of look at and say, like, yeah, I could see me being like that guy, an offensive lineman whose game you admire?
I would say I'm a long ways off right now, but an offensive lineman I look at like that would probably be Tyron Smith, the left tackle for the Cowboys.
Yeah. He's one of he's big though. He's bigger than you. Well, not big. He's a lot taller than you. And that dude got like arms that are like long as hell. How long are your arms? How long did your arms measure at the Senior Bowl?
Mine's are about 33 and a half.
Where's that at? Is that average or below or above?
That's actually pretty good. I know, like, that's like borderline tackle length, even though they're bumping me inside for guards.
Gotcha.
So I know, like, a lot of teams are pleased with how, like, I know, like, I'm not 6'6", but I know they're pleased with, like, the length of my arms and legs. So,
absolutely. Tell me about your strength. What do you consider your strengths as a player? I'm giving you one of those combine interviews, like that 20-minute interview you don't get at the combine. I'm about to hit you with some of those real quick. Like, what are your strengths?
I would say my strengths are my athleticism, my feet, and the demeanor and the way I play. I know I move a lot. I move better than a lot of big guys, and I've always been like praised for my feet. And I think on top of that, just like I always try to finish every play, no matter what's going on in that play. Like
Word.
That's always been the one thing that I've been told. Like from the first day I stepped out on the field, like you don't stop until you hear that whistle blow. And even then, sometimes you hear that whistle blow, you still go a little bit further.
When you say your demeanor, it's like you a mean MFer, or you like calm? Like when you talk about your demeanor, like who are you on the football field?
When I say demeanor, I just mean like just how you play. Like I'm a real calm person, but like on the field, like I'm just trying to catch bodies. I mean, like it's football, we got on pads.
My man,
all right.
My man.
I mean, I can slam somebody, I'm slamming somebody.
That's what it is. So on the other side of the coin, what do you consider your weaknesses to be right now?
I would say my main weakness right now is just experience. Like physically, I know that I'm not too far off the ball from a lot of these guys, but I mean they've been at bigger and better programs and been playing longer than me. So I feel like I'm kind of in like an accelerated program, almost like going down to the Senior Bowl to show that, yeah, I didn't have as much as these guys had, but I can still play with them.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully getting that shot at the next level, being with some team in camp, I can develop even faster and prove that I can play with those guys as well.
Give me a little known fact about you. Something that someone who, like, I'm just meeting you right now, something that I'd be surprised to know about you.
I don't know how surprising this will be, but like, you know how like a lot of people say like they cook, they know how to make food and all that.
Oh,
like,
do I?
I really know how to cook and make food. Like, I mean, I actually used to like want to be a chef when I was younger, but I was like being the oldest out of 3 children. Whenever my parents were away at work, like it was me who had to learn how to cook for my mom and dad, so I could take care of me, my brother, and my sister whenever they weren't around.
My man, like, what's your dish, cuz? Because I cook, dude. Like, for real. Like, I saw Instagram the other day. This dude that I used to work with, he like had on the counter, he had like a box of pasta, like some turkey meat or something, a jar of Prego, and a bell pepper in it. And the caption was "Real men cook." And I was like, my man, something's missing here. What you about to do is boil some water and brown some meat, cuz that's what you about to do. So give me what's your deal, man? Like, what's the thing that you go to? You got your lady, it's Valentine's, you don't have to train, you cooking for, what you throwing down for?
For the most part, she eats whatever I make, but just in the midst of all this training, whenever I cook, I try to make sure it's still relatively healthy.
Nah, forget it. Like, let's just say you're not training. Like, what's the thing? Calories be damned. Like, what are we going for? We going for taste. Right, we ain't going for functionality. We going for taste and beautiful presentation, that whole nine. Like, what is your thing?
See me, like I honestly love lasagna. Like, I make a mean lasagna. My thing.
My man, yeah. Get in that. Well, how many layers we talking about, cuz?
Like, you know how you get the aluminum pans, right? Like, I like mine to be a little bit taller than the aluminum pan, so I got to get the foil and wrap that thing tight so the meat won't spill over.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right, man. I appreciate you joining the show, man. I got one last thing for you. And it's just basically because of your story, man. And like hearing you talk right now and reading some of your previous interviews, man, you talk about work, you know what I mean? And the ability to just work through issues and conform to certain things, like different circumstances. It was something that kind of spoke to me. I don't know if you've ever seen Curtis Martin's Hall of Fame speech. Curtis Martin has me off of I don't watch anybody else's Hall of Fame speech because that's pretty much the crux of his speech. This dude said he don't watch football now. He never really liked it. It was just a matter of him doing it. And he says, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to work as hard as I can at it. And him just working at something ended up in the Hall of Fame. So for you, man, what's your message to those kids who don't get a chance to, do all the crazy stuff at the press conference, like pick a different hat or fool, take off a different shirt because it's not a big school. Someone who may have to find themselves at a Kutztown type situation and work their way through it. What would be your advice to that kid that may be listening to this show?
I would say find the real reason you're doing it. Like, I know a lot of people, they might be trying to do this for their family or for the money or just like because somebody else is living through them. I would honestly say, like, because like I'm not even there yet, but this process can be a bit much at times. So I would honestly say, like, if you're going to do it, make sure it's really what you want to do and it's really like you have a passion for it. Because I feel like just moving forward, if you don't, everything that you're going to have to go through is probably it's going to break you down. Like, you have to want to do it. Like, find your why and just roll with that. I mean, there's going to be people who doubt you and tell you can't do X, Y, and Z. But I mean, as long as you know your why, just do it for that exact reason.
That's what it is. I lied too. I got one last question because it's the question I have to ask. Like, since I've been doing this for the years I've been doing this with prospects, I got to ask you this one question. Once you do make that team, I'm already going to say you're going to make the team, you're getting drafted, all that stuff is happening. What's the first purchase? What's the first thing you got to get?
I don't know. Honestly, I would say a dog. I really want a dog.
Like a canine? A dog?
Yeah.
Bro, you can get a dog now. You can go down and adopt a dog right now. I mean, you ain't got to purchase it. You can just show up and like, look, I want one of them. I want one of them Mike Vick specials, the ones that got rescued from him. Hook me up. You did?
On that, like, just for that, like, I don't know. Like, I've never been like a real flashy guy, so I can't think of anything crazy I want. I mean, obviously a car, but it wouldn't be anything flashy. I'd rather be smart with that money and opportunity and wait until like a second contract to really start spending money like that.
My man. Like, yeah, that sounds great to me, dude. I'm rooting for you, dog. You're one of those people. I watched the combine like a nerd, you know what I mean? Because when I was in school, when I was playing ball, it wasn't televised. So we had to like get information through hearsay. So once they start televising it, I turned into a real like combine snob nerd. I just sit down and watch it like it's a game. So I'll definitely be checking for you draft night. I'm the same way. Draft day 1, 2, 3, I'll be checking for you, man. And my man, the best of luck to you, man. I can feel your fervor, you know what I'm saying, through the phone lines, man. You're somebody that I definitely hope the best for, my dude.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man.
You got it, man. Thank you for joining me.